Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita discussion. We are on the fourth chapter, the Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we began the Jnana Vibhaga Yoga. We saw the connection between chapter 3 and chapter 4 because Krishna spoke ultimately that Arjuna, you perform Nishkama Karma Yoga. So, how Karma Yoga elevates, he spoke in few verses in the third chapter, in the second last part. And the greatest obstacle in Karma Yoga is lust. So, how to conquer lust, he gives that knowledge. So, further, that knowledge Krishna is revealing in the first chapter because as one acts in Nishkam Karma Yoga, the Gyan increases. So, fourth chapter, that's why it's called the Gyan and Vibhaga Yoga. The first 10 verses, Krishna teaches and establishes Dharma. So, that's why he speaks about that this yoga, Vivasvate Yogam, yoga refers to uh, here the Nishkama Karma Yoga, you know, this is Gyan Yoga, which is the goal of Nishkam Karma Yoga. It can refer to directly the relationship between one relationship with the Supreme, as Prabhupada translates. He gave it to Vivaswan, Vivaswan gave it to Sun God, and then Manu. Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. And this is coming in the parampara. And today, because you are my friend and devotee, I will relate this rahasya. Suddenly, Arjuna says, wait, you know, we both are contemporaries. How is that? Vivaswan, who is aparam, who is quite superior to your birth, his birth is very ancient, and your birth is recent, along with me almost. We are contemporaries. So how can I believe that you gave this knowledge? So now the avatar tattva, Krishna starts speaking from verses 4.5. We saw. Both Krishna and Arjuna have taken births many times, although Arjuna is an eternal Nitya Siddha and eternal companion of the Lord whenever the Lord descends. But Arjuna cannot remember, he's a Nitya Siddha, still he cannot remember his previous births which he took along with the Lord, because for pastime purpose, in order to enact the Leela, he, doesn't reveal his previous forms. Now he is acting as a son of Kshatriya and inflicting, pain to his enemies because he is acting as an instrument of Krishna in establishing dharma by killing the adharmic people on the battle of Kurukshetra. So that's what this verse spoke. And then we saw this verse, Ajopi son of Vyarma. We spent a lot of time on this verse, very polemics. Polemics means, polemic. Polemic means, how I am right and you are wrong. So Mayavads, take this verse and there's literally wars which have fought. And, you know, Vishwanath Thakur quotes Prakritim means what? Anyone who will tell what is Prakritim here meaning? What is the meaning of Prakritim? Yesterday we saw quite in detail the arguments put forth by Vishwanath Thakur quoting various acharyas. What does Prakritim mean here in this context? Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya. What does it mean? Anyone? Yesterday only we have discussed this. Parampara Prabhuji, you were there yesterday? Parampara Prabhuji, you were there
Yes,
yesterday?
yes. Yes, I was there. Yes, here
Oh, I don't
Prakratim
recollect.
uh,
Yes, you're there. What does Prakriti
means
mean here?
his own Swarupa. So Lord says, so
Yes,
all the acharyas has
exactly,
given that
exactly.
his own form.
Prakriti. And he is Bhutanam Ishvaro. He is the Lord of all living entities. And he comes by his own will, by his Atma Maya, by his spiritual energy. Atma Maya refers to Yoga Maya. So yesterday we saw all the arguments, and that's why it took a lot of time to complete that discussion. So now we come to 4.7. This is a very famous verse. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So, Sambhavami Atma Maya. I manifest by my Yoga Maya. When, if you ask a question, when, this verse is answered. Yada yada, whenever there is destruction of adharma. Dharmasya glanir bhavati. O Bharata, and the rise of adharma. Adharmasya abhyuthanam. I manifest my own body. Tada aham atmanam srijam. Now here again, Mayavadis, take this word Srijami. The Lord's body is created by Maya, like that. They might take the meaning. But Srijami, I manifest my own body is here. Now, let's see how in the commentary Vishnu Chakra Thakur counters that argument. When do I appear? This verse answers. Yada yada. I appear when I cannot tolerate both the destruction, glani of dharma, and the increase, apyudana of adharma. When there is a glani of dharma and there is a increase of adharma. So the whole world works on balance. If the dharma glani is happening, that means dharma weight scale is going down. Naturally, the adharma weight scale will go up. So that's why it has to be balanced. So that time, in order to reverse the situation, I appear. I manifest my body, Atmanam. Madhusudan Saraswati says, I show that body which exists eternally as if it were created by my energy, Shrujami. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The only reason for appearing my appearance is that I desire it. I descend by my own free will. I mentioned this yesterday also. Whenever there is a decline in religion and a prevalence of a religion, I appear on my own accord. My laws, which govern the activities of this material world, are unconquerable. However, when in due course of time these rules become ineffective for some indefinable and indescribable reason, irreligion becomes prominent. No one except me can put an end to this disorder. I thus appear in this mundane plane for the assistance with the assistance of my spiritual potency and dispel the decline of religion. It is not true that I only appear in the land of Bharat, India. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is making it very clear, very broad-minded explanation Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving. According to the necessity, I appear by my will among demigods, animals, birds, and other species. Therefore, do not think that I do not appear among those who outside the Vedic system, such as Mlaita, Anteja, and other outcasts. All those pitiable people also accept a certain degree of religiosity as their natural religion, Swadharma. When their religions decline, I also appear among them as an empowered incarnation, Shaktavesh Avatar, by investing a certain living entity with my potency to protect religion. So the Lord's, Shaktavesh Avatars are also to be considered as the Lord's incarnations only. In India, people regularly perform their religious duties in the form of Varnashram Dharma. I therefore make a special endeavor to establish this system of religion, Dharma, among them. For this reason, all the charming incarnations such as Yuga avatars who appear in this world in every age, so as to establish religious principles, and the Amsha avatars, Pashanat, are seen to manifest only in India. So the reason why, you know, uh, Krishna chooses or the avatars choose to come in India is because here Varnashram Dharma is followed. So that is why that's a very favorable atmosphere where they are very receptible, where, they are receptible to accept the teachings and accept the Lord's avatars. It's a favorable environment, and that's the reason the Lord appears. Just like the president or the prime minister resides in Delhi, That's the capital, you know. So the capital for all the incarnations is India. It doesn't mean that the president doesn't go to other places. He visits. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave that all examples. In places where there is no varnashram, people cannot properly practice Nishkam Karma Yoga or its goal Jnana Yoga and its highest fruit Bhakti Yoga. So that's what is the glory, especially India. Still, anything of bhakti that manifests among those outside Varnashram system can be attributed to that sudden appearance of faith generated by the mercy of my devotee. So, what do you draw from this statement? Still, anything of bhakti that manifests among those outside the Varnashram system can be attributed to the sudden appearance of faith generated by the mercy of my devotee. So, who is this my devotee referring to? Who will answer? Let us see. Only one hand has been raised. Kalindini Devidasi, I think. She is raised her hand. Yeah? Yes. Mataji. Yes, I've unmuted you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, this is Tirthpad Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
You have to rename yourself here.
I've not seen Prabhu. I'll log in. I'll change it.
Okay, Tirthpad. I will change for you.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, tell us whom it is referring to.
Prabhupada, Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, there should be no doubt it is referring to Srila Prabhupada. Suddenly, Bhakti appear in the Western world. So he is that empowered Saktaves avatar who has come to establish Dharma. Paritranaaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In every age, yuge yuge, I appear, sambhavami, in order to protect the devotees. Paritranaya, to destroy the demons. Vinashayata dushkritam, and to establish dharma. So, three reasons. His appearance, why what he does, paritranaya sadhana. And vinashayata dushkritam. He destroys the demons. And then dharma samsthapanarthaya, and to establish dharma. So these are the three. So Arjuna, I will ask a question. But your devotees, the Rajrishis and Brahmacharis, can rectify the destruction of dharma and the increase of adharma. They can do that, Krishna says. Then why is it necessary that you give your appearance? This is true. In fact, they can do it. But I come and perform feats which are very difficult for others to do. What are those feats? That is expressed in this verse. I appear for delivering Tranaya, my dedicated devotees, sadhanam, whose hearts are bursting with longing for me, who are suffering due to their devotion. So Paritrana means the pure devotees are feeling great pangs of suffering from not having the darshan of the Lord, and they want to have the darshan of the Lord. And they cannot be satisfied anything except having the darshan of the Lord. So the Lord becomes obliged to come and incarnate so that he can give darshan. So paritrana, and for destroying the evil-minded persons like Ravana, Kamsa, and Keshi, who give suffering to my devotees and who cannot be killed by anyone except me, and for establishing in a firm way the supreme dharma of meditating on me, worshipping, serving me, and singing about me, which cannot be instituted by anyone but me. Samsthapanarthaya. This samsthapanarthaya, what you can relate with this term samsthapanarthaya? With Srila Prabhupada, what you can relate to this samsthapanarthaya? Who will tell us? Raise your hands. Vinuta Mataji. Yes. Yes, Vinuta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. To re-establish what is lost, forgotten.
No. Samsthapanarthaya. What does it convey in terms of Srila Prabhupada?
Uh, that's it. Like the bhakti was lost and that was re-established.
Oh, yes, but still, um,
No, that's what I understood. Sorry,
yeah,
Prabhuji, if I'm
okay,
wrong.
okay. Let's see what Shubha Ikshana Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhu, does it mean the formation of ISKCON by Srila Prabhupada?
Formation of ISKCON, actually the founder Acharya. Sampradaya Acharya, founder Acharya. That's what Prabhupada in English. No, you see in all Prabhupada books you read. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya. Founder Acharya is Samstapanarthaya. So, this religion of, supreme dharma of meditating, worshipping, singing, and all that, Srila Prabhupada also established in ISKCON. So, the same reason what the Lord comes, Prabhupada did that. That's why, Prabhupada is an empowered representative of the Lord himself. I do this in every yuga, in the day of Brahma, or in every kalpa, day of Brahma. In this act, one should not worry that the Lord is being prejudiced in punishing the evil-minded, because vinashaya cha dushritam. By killing them, the Lord delivers even the most sinful asuras from samsara and from receiving hellish punishment due to their various sinful actions. The Lord's punishment in the form of killing should be thus seen as his mercy. I established Varnashram Dharma by infusing my potency into the royal and the Brahminical saints who are devoted to me. However, in order to protect my foremost pure devotees from non-devotees, there is a need for my incarnation to appear. So, to protect his pure devotees from the asuras, thus appearing as Yoga Avatar, the incarnation for each, I protect the saintly devotees. By eliminating the wicked demons, I readdress the decline in religion, and by preaching the limbs of bhakti such as hearing, shravanam, and chanting kirtana, I establish the eternal religion of living entities. So Prabhupada also established this bhakti movement. That's why he's called as the founder Acharya. I descend in every age. From this statement, one should understand that I also descend in Kali Yuga, and in my incarnation as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will establish that extremely rare prema, the eternal religion of divine love, solely by the process of chanting holy names. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes one step ahead to mention who is the Kali Yuga Avatar. This incarnation has no other purpose, and therefore it is the greatest incarnation of all. Even so, I will remain concealed from the common man. My pure devotees will naturally be attracted to me, and you, Arjuna, will realize this when you appear with me in that age. So that's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna in the next Kali Yuga, I'll appear with you. So, how did Arjuna appear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement? As what? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as what? Arjuna appeared as what? Anyone knows? At least first tell me. Krishna appeared in Kali Yuga as first what? Yes, Rupanuga Jivan Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, Ramanand Rai.
Yes, Ramanand Rai. Ramanand Rai is simultaneously considered as an incarnation of Arjuna as well as, Vishaka Sakhi or Lalita Sakhi sometimes. I don't recollect whether it is Lalita or Vishaka, so I don't want to speculate. I'll have to refer once again. Either it's, I think, Lalita or Vishaka. I don't remember. So Arjuna is considered combined incarnation. Now, how combined it can happen, that's inconceivable. Don't worry about it. First of all, the soul is inconceivable. Avyakto achintoyam. That only we are not able to conceive. So don't, oh, Vishaka Sakhi. Yeah, it's Vishaka Sakhi. This incarnation has no other purpose, and therefore it is the greatest incarnation of all. Even so, I will remain concealed from the common man. My pure duties will be naturally detected, and Arjuna, you will realize that you will appear in the next stage. The most wonderful feature of this hidden avatar who will deliver the people of Kaliva is that I reform the miscreants' wicked nature by blessing them with divine love through the chanting of the holy name. So he doesn't kill the demons. I do not reform them by completely annihilating them as I did in my previous incarnations. So only Mahaprabhu's incarnation, he doesn't kill the demons. He kills the demonic nature and gives them divine prema. Okay. Text 9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvata त्यक्त्वा deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarjana. He who understands in truth यह एवं तत्वतः व्यक्ति my spiritual birth and activities me divyam janma cha karma cha attains me saha mam eti on giving up his body deham tyaktva and does not take birth again punarjanma na eti. So here first time we are coming across this term divyam. So what does divyam mean? Anyone? What does divyam mean? Anyone? Rupanuga Jivan Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Original Pranam. So above the three modes.
About the three modes. Any
Transcendental.
other meaning for divyam? Are there any other meanings? Vinuta Mataji, you had raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhuji, it was transcendental was my answer.
Transcendental, yes. So please now remember, divyam can have two meanings. One is transcendental, that is above the three modes, or spiritual, completely spiritual. And divyam can also mean celestial or heavenly, because this will come in the 11th chapter. Divyam dadami te chaksu. That time you'll more clearly understand. So based on the context, the meaning is going to change. So in this context, divyam means transcendental or spiritual. That's why the acharyas make it clear. You will be successful just by knowing in truth about my birth, which was previously described, and after my birth, my activities. So where was the Lord's birth described previously? Which verse? Raise your hands. Which verse did the Lord describe about his birth? Who will answer? Please don't type anything in the chat box, because chat box is only for if the audio is not working. Where did the Lord previously describe about his birth? Which verse? Anyone? Tirthpad Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhuji, 7 and 8, text 7 and 8, this chapter only.
That verse described his birth. When he appears, is mentioned.
Okay.
Anand Prabhuji, you had raised your hand.
Oh, no, Prabhuji, I had not raised. I'm still trying to catch up with the past lectures.
Okay. Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, is it 4.6?
Yes, it is 4.6. Ajopi. Although I'm unborn, I take birth. So that verse is a very important verse. This is expressed in this verse. After birth, there are activities. Ramacharya and Madhusudan Saraswati say that Divya means non-material. Non-material means spiritual. Material, non-material. Sridhar Swami says Divya means uncommon. And this means that it is not related to the material world. It also means spiritual. See, within two lines, Vishnu Thakur gives reference of Ramacharya, Madhusudan Saraswati, Sridhar Swami, and he himself. All are translating Divyam as spiritual to make it very, very clear. Because you'll interpret that verse in a different way, thinking it is heavenly. Being spiritual beyond the gunas means that the Lord's birth and activities are eternal. They are eternal. Jeev Goswami also explains, quoting from Bhagavatam in the Bhagavad Sandarbha, that the Lord has no material birth or activities. Na vidyate yasya cha janma karma va, na nama rupa guna doha eva va, tatapi lokapyaya sambhavaya yah, swamaya tani anukalam rachati. Tasmai nama pareshaya, brahmani ananta shaktaya, arupaya ururupaya, nama ascharya karmane. So this is the prayers of Gajendra. He has no birth or activity. No vidyate yasya cha janma karma va. No name or form. Na nama rupa. The Lord doesn't have what? No name or form. What does this mean? Who will answer? The Lord has no name or form. I want you all to think. No name or form. What does it mean? Rupanuga Jivan Prabhuji. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna,
I have
Gurudev Ram.
unmuted you.
No form means no material form and no material name.
Oh, very good. Very nice. He doesn't have any material form or material name. No qualities or faults. Guna dosha. Dosha it should be evama. Except birth and activities as Brahma and Shiva at the time of creation. Anukalam Richati. By his energy of Rajasantama, Swamaya, for creating and destroying worlds. Lok apaya sambhavaya. I offer this to Paramatma. Tasmai nama pareshaya. That's how Vishnu Thakur translates 838. And the Pareshaya can refer to Bhagavan also, but he translates as Paramatma. Brahman with unlimited powers, Brahmani Anant Shaktaya, who is devoid of material forms, but has many spiritual forms. Arupaya Ururupaya. One who has no form but many forms. Is it not a contradictory statement? Arupaya Ururupaya. No? So what does this Arupaya Ururupaya mention? Convey the meaning? Arupaya Ururupaya. Who will answer? It is there in the translation here itself, but still I want devotees to think and answer. Arupaya Ururupaya. Yes, Vinuta Mataji.
It is the same who is devoid of material forms but who has many spiritual forms.
Yes, excellent. He has no material form but unlimited spiritual forms and astonishing activities. Nama Ascharya Karmani. This is Gajendra's prayers. Or the word Divya can mean not approachable by logic or inconceivable on the strength of the words of Shruti and Smriti. So that's why just by logic, you cannot understand the absolute truth as confirmed in the Shruti. The Purusha does not. I don't know why this is happening. Maybe because of the font, I think. Sure. The Purusha Bodhini Shruti of the Pipline branch of Veda says, Ek Deva Nitya Leela Anurakta Bhakta Vyapi Bhakta Hridaya Antaratma. The one Lord Eka, who is inconceivable, Deva, engaged in eternal pastime, Nitya Leela Anurakta, is spread in the devotees, Bhakta Vyapi, and resides in the devotees, Bhakta Hridaya Antara. So the Lord is inconceivable. The eternal nature of the Lord's birth and activities is mentioned frequently in the Bhagavatam as well. In the Bhagavatam, repeatedly it comes. Yo Vete Tattvata means he who knows that my birth and activities are truly eternal, based on my statements that I am unborn and with indestructible body, Ajopi San Avvayatma. I mentioned 4.6. and that my birth and activities are non-material, janma karma cha mean, and not just an appearance of being eternal, dependent on some sort of trick. Yo Vyakti Tattva can also mean that one who knows me as the very form of Brahman. So there are two meanings of Yo Vyakti Tattvata. To understand it is unborn and he comes in Avyayatma, and his Janma is non-material and his karma is also spiritual completely. So that's what is Evam Vyavati Tattva. Another meaning of Evam Vyavati Tattva can also one who knows me the very form of Brahman. This is because later Krishna will say Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdesho Brahmanas Triveda Smrita. The three words Om Tat Sat all indicate Brahman. So Om is also indicating Brahman. Tat, that absolute truth is called as Tat. So that is also indicating Brahman. Sat, Sat is the absolute truth also. So the absolute truth is also indicated by Om Tat Sat. All indicate Brahman. Therefore, Tattva means the state of being Brahman, Tat. Yo Vyakti Tattva means one who knows me as the form of Brahman. So Evam Yo Vyakti Tattva means, Tattvata means one who knows me as the very form of Brahman. Ramacharya says, destroying all such sins which are unfavorable to surrender to me by true knowledge of my spiritual birth and activities, taking shelter of me in this life in the prescribed way, that person who holds me alone as there, constantly thinking of me, attains me. Janma karma cha me divyam evam vyo vetti tattvata tektva deham punarjanma neti. So, this person who knows what happens, Krishna's birth is completely transcendental spiritual. He destroys all the sins which are unfavorable for surrender. And he understands the Lord's spiritual birth and activities. That's why he takes shelter of him. And that's why he holds him very dear to his heart. And he's always thinking of him. And that's why there is no birth. Tektva punarjanma neti. Neti mam eti so Arjuna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Those who realize that Sri Bhagavan takes a transcendental birth and performs transcendental activities made possible through the medium of his Achintya Shakti, inconceivable potency, potential name. Never take birth again upon presently leaving their bodies, rather being controlled by his Ladini Shakti, pleasure-giving potency, which is a manifestation of his Chit energy, internal potency, they attain his eternal service. I hope you understand Chitta Shakti. Chitta Shakti is spiritual energy, which is in the spiritual world. The Chitta potency. And the Chitta potency has three divisions, Sandhini, Samvit, and Ladini. Sandhini potency is the potency of the Sat feature of the Absolute Truth, where eternal existence, the spiritual world, and even the material manifestation is maintained by Mahavishnu. Samvit is the knowledge potency by which the Lord knows himself and we can know the Lord and ourselves. The Ladini potency is which gives pleasure. And the personified form of the Ladini potency is who? Anyone knows? Who is the personified form of Ladini potency? Keshav Nath Prasad Prabhuji.
Radharani
Yes.
Prabhuji.
And who is the personified form of Sandhini potency? Huh? Who is it?
I didn't say anything.
You
Thinking.
didn't say anything. Okay. At least we know the Ladini potency because we are all pleasure seeking, and because we are Gaudiyas, we know Srimati Radharani. That's why. But who is the Sandhini potency? Who knows? Raise your hands. Sandhini potency. Nandini Mataji. Yes.
Durga Mata.
Interesting answer, I can say. Rupanika Jivan Prabhuji. Yes.
I will try to, I think, Balramji.
You should not think it is Balram.
Okay.
Some with potency now. Some with potency. Samvit potency. It is Krishna himself in the form of Govind Dev who gives knowledge, Sambandh Gyan. He gives knowledge, Govind Dev. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, 2.9, Eva Mukto Rishikesha Gudokesh Navarta Na Yotseti Govinda Uktva Tushnim Bahuvacha. Na Yotseti Govinda is mentioned there in that verse. So now Govinda starts instructing, starts giving the knowledge. So Govind Dev is, the personification of, the knowledge potency. Of course, there are other manifestations of the Lord also who are sometimes attributed to it, but we can definitely take it as Govind Dev. Na Yotseti Govinda. So Govinda is here it is translated as giving pleasure to the senses, but also wants to give knowledge. So Govind Dev starts speaking the Bhagavad Gita in one sense. Okay. On the contrary, those bereft of spiritual knowledge who consider the birth, activities, and the transcendental form of Sri Krishna as they appear within the material world to be temporary and mundane are overpowered by ignorance and remain within material existence. By philosophically concluding that Bhagavan and his activities are material, they remain trapped within the material cycle of cause and effect karma. The only way to escape the cycle and attain pure devotion is to receive the mercy of a pure and saintly devotee. This is the last verse. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashita bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhava magata. Having given up attachment. Now, ultimately, what is the result of this knowledge of the Avatar Tattva? Krishna gave from 4.5. Of course, it is from 4.6 in one sense, Ajopi, to 4.9. So, what is the result? Here is in 4.10. Vitara, giving up attachment, Vitaraga, Vita Bhaya, fear, and Vita Krodha. So this Vita is referring to all the three. Please remember. Manmaya, means absorbed in hearing and chanting. Mam Upashita, taking shelter of me. Bahavo, many. Bahavo, many persons. Jnana Tapasa. Puta. Puta means they become purified. That's what it is mentioned here. Purified, yes, you can see purified. Madbhavam. Madbhavam agata. Attained love for me. So Madbhavam here refers to Bhava stage. So this Jnana Tapasa, what is this Jnana Tapasa? Which verses of the Bhagavad Gita refer to this Jnana Tapasa? Who will answer? Let us see. Which verses of the Bhagavad Gita refer to this Jnana Tapasa? Shri Lalita Sumukhi Mataji. Yes.
Prabhu, I'll try. I'm not sure whether it's correct. Janma karma cha me divyam, that one, right? It gives whoever
That
knows the
verse.
transcendental
Only that
pathway.
verse?
That
Only
also,
that
right?
verse? Only that?
Let me think, Prabhu. 1 minute. Wait. Right by the austerity of the birth.
Take 2 minutes. We'll wait. Where did Krishna start giving knowledge about his, any others? What is that Jnana Tapasa? Anyone else also would like to try? Yes, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, is it from 4.5 to 4.10?
Yes, it is from 4.5 to 4.9. I've already written here. You know, it is 4.5 to 4.9. So this is Jnana Tapasa. And one should perform this Jnana Tapasa because this is the result. You'll become
Okay.
free from Raga, Bhaya, Krodha.
So 10 will not be counted
And
in
then you,
this.
pardon?
10 will be counted, right? 4.10.
Pardon?
4.10 will
10
be counted.
10 is the result. 10 is the
Okay.
result,
10 is
of
the
knowing
result.
this
Okay.
knowledge. So 4.5 to
Okay.
4.9. Okay.
Okay.
10 is the result. So I'll have to mute all, otherwise, yeah. So let's hear the translation. Having given attachment, fear, and anger towards the demons, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. So here, towards the demons, it says, toward different philosophies also it can refer to here. Absorbed in me with hearing and chanting, Manmaya, having taken shelter of me, Mam Apashtita. Many persons, Bhavo, purified by austerity, tolerating opposition of that true knowledge of my birth and activities. Jnana tapasa puta. So that's why I told, that you have to defend these demons from their philosophies by defending Krishna. How Krishna's birth is transcendental, have attained love for me. Mad bhavam agata. So Prabhupada in his commentary, this Mad bhavam he says is bhava stage, and he gives the whole, series of verses starting from, you know, Shrunvatam Sakata Krishna. Madhbhava, transcendental love for me, Prabhupada says. And he quotes, Adu Shraddha Sadhu Sangha, you know, and he completely, quotes this bhava stage, you know. That is prema. Bhava is himself also prema also. In one sense, love, love of God. That's how Prabhupada translates that. So let's go to the commentary. Now, Jnana Tapasa Puta means purified by the austerity of knowledge. Jnana Tapasa, austerity of knowledge. Because knowledge is the fire that purifies. It's a Jnana, it will come further. It's called a. So this Jnana Tapasa we should do of studying the Bhagavad Gita because this will purify, this will make us get purified. How it is happening, we might not understand. It is very inconceivable, but definitely we should have this faith that we are getting purified as we are understanding the Bhagavad Gita, as we are hearing the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Prabhupada in his commentary, these demons, who are, attached to becoming free from the attachment of devoid of attachment, fear, and anger against the demons and opposing what Vishnu Chagat Thakur is writing, Prabhupada gives a contemporary understanding. What are the obstacles in understanding Krishna Tattvata? Raga. This world is such a nice place. Why bother about Krishna? No, you are attached to this world. So this becomes an obstacle in us understanding Krishna because if you are attached to this world. Bhaya. Relationships again, you enter into relationships and you have broken relationships, and then ultimately you become detached and you practice jnana or ashtanga, and there you don't want to have relationships. So again, developing relationship with Krishna, you again relate to the same thing as this as a material world. So they don't want to go into relationships, they have fear. No, I don't want that at all. This is the Jnani's perspective. Krodha. There are so many theories. Who knows which is true? Just forget the whole thing. These are skeptics. The skeptics doubt, everything they doubt, you know, they doubt the doubt also, and they doubt themselves also. So that's why these, samshaya atma vinashyati, he says, So these are the skeptics. So like that, these become an obstacle. If you start doubting that person who is giving you the knowledge, every statement he makes, every statement you will doubt. So this doubt can become a great obstacle in understanding Krishna Tattvata. So that's what Prabhupada writes. So I gave the three all the three explanations which Prabhupada is giving. Okay. So let's come to Vishnu Chatar. Not only at the present time can one attain me just by knowing about me, the nature of my present birth and activities, but in ancient times also, in previous kalpas, when I appeared, people attained me by knowing the nature of my birth and activities. Jam karma cha me divyam. Tattva punar janma neti mametun. Who have done that? These are bahovo puta mad bhava magata. That is the purport of this verse. Regarding the meaning of Jnana Tapasa, Ramacharya says, they become purified by the austerity of realizing about the nature of my birth and activities as previously stated. So that is referring to 4.5, 4.6 to 4.9. How the Lord is Aja from there. But you can also include 4.5 because the Lord takes birth, but he remembers everything because he is omniscient. Or the meaning can be they have attained realization of the eternal nature of my birth and activities, become purified by austerity in the form of tolerating the burning poison of wrong ideas, wrong logic, and wrong arguments. So when wrong arguments are presented for the devotee, it's like burning, and then they have to, they have to either defeat them and establish the right thing. They have that realization because these are eternal. They have that understanding. So this is preaching. Preaching will bring realization. This we should understand. And that's why we need to preach. So that's why to preach, first we have to hear, understand, to our capacity, realize, and then preach. But at all levels we can do. Based on our levels, when we have realized and then we preach, the effect is quite deep. Ramanuja quotes the following Shruti in this regard. Tasya dhira prajananti yonim. The wise know him about the Lord's method of birth. Taittiriya Aranyaka. So that's what, Jnana Tapasa. The Lord, they know about his birth. Such wise persons have given up attachment to or affection for persons who speak nonsense ideas. Vitaraga. My devotees have no fear of them, nor anger towards them. Vita Bhaya, Vita Krodha. Why? Because they are preoccupied with meditating on, thinking of, hearing, and singing about my birth and activities. Manmaya. So they don't have time for this. The famous Devvijay Pandit came to Rup Goswami. Rup Goswami just signed and gave. He said, Go Baba, I'm absorbed in Krishna Lila Smaran. Don't disturb me. I'm not interested in defeating you. So this Digvijay Pandit thought, Arey, I'm now the greatest scholar on this planet because without a debate, Rupa Goswami accepted defeat. So he thought, Rupa is better than Rupa Goswami. But in order to defend, Jiva Goswami done that. Jiva Goswami did not tolerate. That's a disciple. So and Jiva Goswami defeated him like that. Because they're preoccupied, manmaya. There are three reasons why foolish people are not inclined to deliberate on the transcendental and supremely pure nature of my birth, activities, and form. Uttara Thakura, this is his commentary. Attachment to other worldly objects or this world, fear and anger. Those whose intelligence is tightly bound by mundane thoughts are so deeply absorbed in materialism and attached that they do not accept eternal entity known as Chitta Tattva, transcendental reality exists. They don't have this understanding that there is a transcendental reality who is Krishna because they are absorbed in material thoughts, materialism, vitaraga. According to such persons, Swabhava, nature itself is the absolute truth. Some of them maintain that inner matter is the eternal cause and the source of spirit. That is, the matter is the cause and source of spirit. They say. The Jadvadis who declare that inner matter is all in all, the Swabhavavadis who support the theory that everything is occurring due to the inherent properties within all phenomena, and the Chaitanya Heenavad, Vidivadi, who advocate a system of ethics that is based on the conception that there is no consciousness. Chaitanya Heena. there's no consciousness, are all impelled by the attachment to their respective theories. So they're attached to their own theories. So that's why somebody who has knowledge about God, and he thinks, that his understanding is right, for him to preach it is very difficult. Prabhupada had that difficulty in India. Indians thought, we know man Krishna. Right from childhood we have heard. But the Western audience was a clean slate. Prabhupada could immediately impregnate the teachings. But India, it is difficult. They have their own understandings, conceptions, as though from birth they have taken PhD in religion. Any other subject, if they have not got a degree, they cannot speak on it. Like suppose you're let's see, among the audience, uh, let's see in the audience. Okay, Shubha Ikshan Krishna Prabhuji, are you there? Shubha Ikshan Krishna Prabhuji?
Prabhu, I'm here, Prabhu.
You're there with us, na? Okay. So, what is your education qualification? What is your education qualification? What are you educated in? Are you there with us? You understand our question? Haribol? Haribol? Response. Okay. Anand Prabhuji. Anand Manaktal Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dharmaspan.
Haribol?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, what is your education bracket? What is your education qualification?
Prabhuji, I'm a chartered accountant.
So you're a CA, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You are a born CA?
No.
No, na? Okay, now, do you know about, do you have the knowledge of medical science?
Prabhuji, I just studied science in 9th, 10th. So that much.
No, I'm speaking about medical science, like surgery and, anatomy or, whatever it is, different fields in the medical science. Are you
Absolutely.
having knowledge? Are you having knowledge?
I'm sorry, Prabhuji, your last line I could not hear.
Are you having knowledge of medical science?
No, Prabhuji.
What a
Not
medical
at all.
doctor has. You're
No,
not trained
Prabhuji.
in it.
Not at all.
But do you know in India the disease is, anyone who's born in India, he thinks he has knowledge about God from birth. So that's what these Sabhavavadis are. I'm trying to explain this.
Correct.
Some of them maintain that inert matter is the eternal cause and the source of spirit. The Jadvadis declare that inert matter is all, and the Sabhavadis who support the theory that everything is occurring due to the inherent properties within all phenomena, and the Chaitanyahinvadis, being deluded by objects other than transcendental reality, they gradually become bereft of any transcendent attachment to the supreme absolute truth, Vitaraga. Although some thinkers do accept spiritual principles as eternal, they can have no realization of them at all because they reject the very principle by which transcendental knowledge is easily attained and perpetually take shelter of mundane and logic and reasoning. What are attributes and activities they see in inert matter, they designate as anil, asat, and very carefully abandon them. Thus, in the nature of identifying what is uncontaminated by inert matter, they imagine an absolute reality and the and absolute reality that is beyond definition. Anirvachaniya, like that. These Gyanis, do that. Especially the Maya. This, however, is nothing more than the indirect manifestation of my Maya. It is not my eternal form. So that's what. Uh, Basically, everyone is a born Mayavadi in one sense, because everyone thinks he's God. Later, they give up meditating on my actual form, Sarup, and worshipping my deity form, fearing that this may cause them to come under the influence of material conceptions. So, like that, all these kind of fears they have. Because of this fear, they lose the opportunity to realize the true form of the absolute truth and are deprived of pure love for me. There are others who, being unable to discern any substance, be on matter, become possessed by anger. They are not able to discern what is the truth, and they become frustrated. Impelled by such anger, they maintain that the absolute truth is just void, nothingness, and the complete annihilation of all existence. These are the nihilistic or the Buddhist, you know. So this leads to voidism. So Prabhupada actually takes Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary in his purport. It is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature. Those who are bodily attached, Jadvadis, absorbed in materialism. For them, the Lord has a transcendental body, which is Satchidananda. It's very difficult, because in material concept, the body is perishable, asat, achit, and niranand. It's miserable. So they take the same idea when they are informed from the personal form. And the gigantic form is the supreme for them. Consequently, they consider the supreme to be impersonal. And they become too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining personality after liberation from matter. So this is bhaya, frightens them. Vita. So Prabhupada is speaking from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary, if you see. And when they are informed about spiritual life is also, they become afraid of becoming persons again. So they naturally prefer kind of merging in impersonal world. So voidism. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence or be embarrassed with so many theories by contradiction with various types of philosophy. They become disgusted and angry and foolish and conclude that there is no supreme cause and everything is ultimate voidism. See? So Prabhupada is taking from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary all these different, Jadvadis, Sabhavadis, Chaitanya-heenavadis, no consciousness, So like that, very nicely Bhaktivinoda Thakur is. Later they give up, okay, this we have read. Impelled by such anger, they maintain that the absolute reality is just a void, nothingness, and the complete annihilation of all existence. The doctrine of Buddhist and Jains has appeared from these principles of nihilism or nirvana. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is making it very clear where this is come. Many wise men, however, do become free from attachment, fear, and anger, and see nothing but me everywhere. They are genuinely surrendered to me, purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge and by the penance of tolerating the burning poison of false reasoning. Thus they have attained pure sublime love for me. So that completes this section of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, how Krishna is the goal and the creator of all paths. He is the creator of all the paths. It doesn't mean that ultimately all paths, progressively ultimately are leading towards Krishna, but sometimes there are intermediate junctions, the demigods level, heaven, Janaloka, Tapaloka, but ultimately, uh, uh, he's the creator of all paths, but ultimately only by Bhakti Yoga you can reach to him. So this will be the next section from 11 to 15. So before we just start the section, if you have any questions of what we have discussed up till now today, you can raise your hands. Any questions, any clarifications? Any questions or any clarifications of what we have discussed up till now today? Parampara Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhuji, in 4.7 purport, when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it's not true that I appear only in the land of Bharat, India.
Correct.
How do you understand that? I have heard this somewhere, but not fully clear. Is that
Prabhupada makes it very clear that even Jesus or Allah are actually representatives of the Lord. So they appear in those places ultimately to bring them towards dharma at that level, So in that sense, in a broader sense, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking, and Prabhupada also had that broad understanding. Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions anyone else has? up till now. These Avatar Tattva 4.5 to 4.9, we should repeatedly study them. And ultimately, you know the result of it. You know, we can become. Sometimes we think, ask ourselves whether we have attachment to the body and we are ready to give the body, and we fear, what will happen after death. So all these in a subtle form in the philosophy, darshan, it is there. So by regularly studying the wisdom of the Gita, we can become free from all these subtle misconceptions. Okay. Yes, Vinita Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's not a question.
Hmm.
I would request you to explain these avatars, like the different types. Purusha avatar, Guna avatar, then
Oh, that
Shaktiavesh,
is a
I
very
understood.
vast topic.
Okay.
And we have discussed this in the Sanatana Shiksha. The whole avatar tattva. Yeah, when good you brought out this point. Actually, I did not make
Because
it
today when you
clear.
explained Shaktiavesh avatar as Srila Prabhupada as Shaktiavesh avatar. So
Hmm.
I would like to know more about the others.
No, that's why when Bhagavan Sambandha Bhakti Hai Abhidaya Prema Prayojan Veda 18 Vastu Kahe Bhagavan Sambandha. So Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan? For that avatar tattva is discussed. And one
Okay.
entire chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. An entire chapter on Chaitanya Charitamrita goes into the avatar tattva. So when we say avatar tattva, we mean you have to understand the complete, ontology of avatar tattva. Ontology means the nature of existence of all these different categories of avatars. So I'm just sharing only one picture to make it clear. Let me see. Where is that picture? Uh, which chapter it is? I'll have to find out. Just give me a minute. The Sanatana Shiksha, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's all given. And one has to study that in detail. And only when one studies that in detail, one actually knows, Avatar Tattva or the Bhagavad Tattva. So that's why one has to make this efforts. And it's not simple knowledge as you might think. Yes, I got it. Okay, 1 second. Yes, I got it. Yes. So I'm sharing the screen. So avatar tattva means you have to understand Swayam Roop Tadekatma Avesh. In Swayam Roop there is Swayam Prakash. In Swayam Prakash there is Prabha Prakash, Vibhav Prakash. And Tadekatma means Vilas Swayamsha. And in Vilas there is Prabha Vilas, Vaibhav Vilas. Then there's the Adir Chaturvya, the Jyoti Chaturvya. Then there are all 23 different forms. Swamsha, here in Swamsha comes Purusha avatars, Leela avatars, Guna avatars, Manvantara avatars, Yuga avatars, and Shaktiavesh avatars. And Swayam Rupa is Krishnastu Swam, Bhagavan Swayam. So understanding all these categories, Swayam Rupa, Swayam Prakash, Tad Ekatma, Vilas, Prabha Vilas, then Vaibhav Vilas, then Swamsha, Purusha avatars, Leela avatars, Guna avatars, Vaibhav, Prabhav, Shaktiavesh avatars. All these constitutes understanding avatar tattva. And one has to study the Charitamrita. And we did this course, the Sanatan Shiksha. And you can see there is almost like around avatar tattva starts. Ishvara Param Krishna, yeah, from here. Sadhya, not in Sadhya. But of course, it starts somewhere I don't know now. So it's an entire chapter, you know. Entire Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 20. One has to study. One has to study the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Then one can understand Avatar Tattva in detail. So that is more important as we know. So the confidential nature of Krishna's birth and activities has to be thoroughly understood in truth. Evam vyo vetti tattvata. So that's very, very important. Okay. Is it okay, Mataji, for now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you.
You can refer to those series of lectures, Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 20. Any other questions anyone else has? I'll just take this one verse from the next section and then we'll continue our discussion tomorrow. Yes, Vinita Mataji, you have another question?
Are you going to share this screen with us about the tattvas, the chart?
No, the slides are there and the lectures have the PPTs and the slides. If you go through that,
Okay.
you will get everything in detail. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So Krishna is the goal and creator of all paths. This is a very famous verse. Yeta mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. Now my question to all of you is, where have you come across this line, third and fourth line? This is called as in Sanskrit, this is called as Pad. P1 I'm denoting Pada 2, Pada 3, Pada 4. Exactly similar, no change. Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manusha Partha Sarvasha. Where have we come across till now? We have studied together the Bhagavad Gita now. Where have we come across this line, which is very similar? Anyone? Forgotten the previous chapter, I think. Tirtha Prabhuji, yes. Yes.
प्रभुजी यदि ह्य हम न वर्तेयम जातु कर्मण्य तन्देतः मम वर्तमान वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वशः.
Yes, excellent. Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manusha Partha Sarvasha. You can see there is absolutely no difference in the last two lines. Absolutely no difference. Exactly the same words are there, but ultimately the whole meaning is different based on the context. Based on the context. Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvasha. Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha. Manushya Partha, sir. It's Munayane, Manusha and let's say, because somehow I don't know that N is becoming S here because of some Sanskrit problem, I think. Manusha Partha Sarvasha. Manusha only. Manusha Partha Sarvasha. So, but although the words are the same, the meanings, word to word meaning same, but the entire meaning here is different based on the context. So that's what first I'll be discussing. But of course, first we'll read the translation. I respond to devotees, tam tateva bhajamyam, according to the amount that they surrender to me. Ye tamam prapadyanti. All men, sarvasha, manushya, all men it is manushya. Follow my path. Mama vartma anuvartante. O son of Prita. So here you can see difference between 323 and 411. Say text same, context totally different. Krishna's position, Mama, in 3.23, he is the exemplar of the right path. because he set some example, Yadyadatara Shishesha. But in 4.11, he is the goal and maker of all paths. That's his Krishna's position here. Path, Vartma, action done by Krishna. These are various paths of Dharma in 4.11. Karma path, the Jnana path and the Bhakti path. Manusya Sarvasya, all common people, there it is. All common people will see the actions of Krishna and he becomes an exemplar of that path. So they're all common people follow. But here it is all seekers in all paths, whether seekers of the karma path, jnana path, ashtanga path. So you can see how Bhagavad Gita, just by understanding the words by Sanskrit and logic, you cannot understand. Ultimately, there is a text and there is a context. And the acharyas understand the deeper meaning in what context what Krishna is saying. And that's why the meaning changes. That's the point I wanted to bring. Now, ye yata maam parpate, the pious materialist, their conception is God is the fulfiller of my material desires. So Krishna reciprocates. You want to fulfill a material desires, you stay in the material world, continues in the material world. So he reciprocates alongly. Mayavadis, Krishna's form and activities are Maya. So Krishna accordingly reciprocates. I make their form and activities into Maya. That means they will take material forms and their activities will be material and they will remain in the material world, Maya. Devotees, Krishna's form and activities are eternal. I make their form and activities into eternal. So when we consider Krishna's forms and activities to be eternal, our form will get an eternal spiritual body and our devotional activities in the spiritual world, even in this world in one sense, also become eternal. So this is how Krishna reciprocates. Ye yata mam prapadyanti tam sateva bhajamyam. Your dedicated devotees consider your birth and activities to be eternal. But others, such as Jnanis, surrendering to you for the purpose of perfecting Jnana and other goals, do not consider your birth and activities to be eternal. In whatever way they worship, Krishna is saying now here. This is Arjuna speaking. Sorry, I did not do the color coding. In whatever way they worship, Prapadante, I give them the fruits of their worship, Bhajami, in the appropriate manner. The meaning is this. Those who think that by birth and activities are eternal and having a particular desire for those pastimes, worship me and please me. And I, because I am the Lord, can respond and not respond or respond in a different way than they expect. But making them my associate, I appear and disappear with them in this world at appropriate time in order to give my birth and pastimes their eternal nature. So ultimately the sadhana siddhas become, siddhas. By sadhana, they become siddhas and then they become nitya siddhas and they go in the spiritual world and Krishna comes in this material world with the nitya siddhas and performs his pastimes, appears and disappears. So that's what Krishna reciprocates. Favoring them every moment, I bestow upon them the fruit of their worship. The Jnanis and others who surrender me while thinking of my birth and activities as temporary and thinking my deity forms as material, I throw those Jnanis again and again into the noose of Maya with its temporary birth and actions and bestow upon them the sorrows of birth and death. This is especially referring to the Mayavadis also. This is appropriate fruit of their worship. They receive temporary bodies because they think my body is temporary. Ye yatamam prapadyante. But those Jnanis who accept the eternal nature of my birth and activities, consider my deity form to be Sachidanand. These are called as the Brahmavadis. There's a difference between Mayavadis and Brahmavadis. And surrender to me for perfection if for their Jnana. I liberate those Jnanis since they desire the destruction of gross and subtle bodies and I give them the bliss of Brahman. That's what they desire. So the Jnanis don't consider the eternal birth and activities of the Lord as temporary or they are made of Maya or the Lord body is made of Maya. It is the Mayavadis who think. And they consider the deity form as Sachidanand, that it does not matter. They consider it Sachidanand. So that's why these Jnanis, to perfect their Jnana, he liberates them and gives the bliss of them. I bestow upon them the desired result of their worship, the destruction of birth and death born from ignorance for the Jnanis. Therefore, not only devotees surrender me, but rather everyone, Sarvasha, all men, Jnanis, Karmis, Yogis, and worshippers of Devtas follow my path, they surrender either directly or indirectly. Directly is by bhakti, indirectly is by these other paths. Gyan, karma, and other processor are all my path, since I am the essence of all those paths. So that's what mama vartamanu vartante. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I reciprocate with a mood in which one accepts shelter of me and worships me. Everyone can certainly attain me because I am the ultimate object of all paths. Those who are pure devotees attain transcendental bliss by eternally rendering confidential service to my spiritual form, which is composed of Satchidananda, eternal cognizance, bliss in the supreme abode. To the worshippers of my featureless aspect, the impersonations, I award Nirvana Mukti, total absorption in Nirvishesh Brahma, by way of self-annihilation. Since they do not accept the eternity of my Satchidananda form, they consequently lose their only eternal blissful form. And to their degree of conviction, I cast some of them in the cycle of birth, and that is the Mayavadis. I appear as void to the nihilistic Shunyavadis, merging their existence with the void. I completely cover the consciousness of the materialistic empiricisms as well as those who identify themselves as being born of nature by making their consciousness almost inert. So they think everything is void and dull, no consciousness. No? So Krishna will put them in that kind of bodies, like tree bodies, completely devoid of consciousness, or stones. I am only attainable to them in the form of inert nature. I appear as Ishwar to the yogis, rewarding them the mystic powers or impersonal liberation. In this way, as the intrinsic form of everything, Sarva Sarupa, I am the object of achievement of all types of beliefs. Among them all, the only one that should be considered supreme is attainment of the transcendental service to me. That is bhakti. All human beings follow one of my various paths. So that's what Krishna is saying in this verse. Okay, so we will stop here. It's 8:30. And again, if you have any questions, I can take up with respect to this last verse. Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, Nandini Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavatanam. Prabhuji, just like if a person from different religion, if he sincerely practicing his religion and not committing any offenses and other things, then can he reach up to Krishna? And he is not doing any
We have to
sins.
understand, first of all, when we speak about religion, actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Chaitanya Shikshamrit mentions that there is only 5 types of worshippers. This is a general classification he does. Panchupasana it is called. One is called as the Shaktas, the worshippers of Shakti. The second is Shauryas, the worshippers of sun. The third is Ganapatyas, that is Ganesh. And then Shaiva. And there is Vishnu. So all the religions of the world, they fall only in these 5 categories. So we have to understand that. Shakyas are worshippers of Shakti, the material energy. And again, there are levels in this. Some only worship the energy. Some worship the energetic form, which is not energetic, the energy form, which is in the form of Durga. In India, it is the Kali. Those who are making research in matter, the scientists, Prabhupada says, they're basically Shaktas. They might not think that they are worshippers because they worship matter. Their religion is matter. They are absorbed. Their thoughts are in matter, trying to explore matter and enjoy matter and manipulate matter. So they are all falling in the Shakta category. Like that, Sauryas, worshippers of sun, Again, it can refer to sun god. In the Zoroastrianism, they worship, Agni, the fire god. So like that, different levels you can find in these. So these are all different conceptions. So all the religions of the world, whatever you name, they will fall in these 5 categories. So based on their conception, the results will be there. different kinds of world based on their different levels of conceptions. So all this we will be studying in the middle 6 chapters more in detail, and in the last 6 chapters. All this will come up, which we should also be aware. So we will slowly start trying to understand these different levels of even in demigod worship, there are different levels of conception in demigod worship. So that also we will be taking up when we study the middle 6 chapters. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Is it okay for now? Because I cannot go into the details of it now. Any other questions anyone else has? Okay, so we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki